We are
Hey
live.
guys.
Hi.
So we're all from Perfect Balance Clinic. So welcome to our broadcast today. We are going to be talking about mindset, well-being, remaining positive through lockdown and how we've coped. So should we just get the show on the road, girls?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I start with Iona and Fatima, so if you guys want to kind of talk about how you've supported clients throughout lockdown, how have you found that? Start with an easy one.
Okay. Would you like to go first, Iona?
I will go first. So I was actually in my final year of university. So I was working at a different clinic towards the end of my final year, and I'd only really worked 3 or 4 shifts before lockdown happened, and then I was meant to start at Perfect Balance, but me and Stephen kind of said, "Oh, we'll wait and see how it goes," and then full lockdown happened. So yeah, I've only really started seeing clients now.
Okay.
Answer, sorry.
Yeah, so I found it quite nice actually in some ways, because I had been doing a bit of online consultations already. So what I found interesting was because I was kind of very used to doing seeing clients quite face to face just for Perfect Balance. I kind of just started putting whatever I would kind of say. I just thought that it's just a change of mindset, right? Where I just have to imagine that the client is there still in front of me, but it's just a different way. It's not face to face. It's just through Zoom, or using some kind of technology. But I was pretty much doing the same thing that I would do in clinic, as in showing them exercises, still taking the entire, still taking a list of the problems down, seeing how I can solve them and resolve them, still see what will be the best referral for them. So whether they need more of personal training, they need more of strengthening, or is it really just physio that they need, or osteo. So I would just decide according to that. But it was pretty much for me the same thing once I kind of realized that, look, it's just not face to face. It is just that it is, through technology, just through Zoom or through other platforms. Which was pretty much the same. I think the only challenging part was when it was a very elderly patient. I just had to kind of take time to help them sometimes set up the Zoom. So I would call them a little bit earlier, help them set it up. Or if they couldn't do Zoom at all, then I would just try to see as them on WhatsApp video calls. Yeah. I would just try to do that. But it was just about adjusting according to their needs. But it was something, I think once the first week went, I kind of realized that this is going to be the normal for a few weeks ahead. And I just adjusted my mindset to that. And that was it.
Yeah, I think it's quite hard, like the realization, isn't it, at the beginning, where it's like,
I think
this is real, this is going to be the normal for a while. We need to get used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was just the first week, which was a bit challenging because, we had to set up and learn the new platform of Zoom, how to use it through the clinic. But then once that was in place and once I understood that was it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's handy. How do you think clients found it?
I think a few of my clients were really appreciative that the service was still going and running, and they were appreciative that they could, we didn't waste any time, did we? We were just on it in the first week. Second week, I was seeing clients, like literally, I think the Saturday, I literally had 5 to 6 clients when I was still seeing in clinic. Yeah. I still had them. So they were just happy that they could carry on really most of the time. And a few clients, new clients as well, were just happy that the service was available there. It was there. They could see a therapist. They could talk to a therapist. So they were just really grateful of that. So, and I guess it was a bit challenging, as I said earlier, for the elderly ones. But once you speak to them and help them understand the platform and how to use it, even they were okay with it then. In fact, they were kind of grateful that they didn't have to travel to the clinic or something.
I guess also once that platform is live, then they can ask you as many questions as they have, and they're not just at home wondering.
Yeah, absolutely. And that puts their mind at ease as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think what was really good was kind of how quickly we transitioned. So it was like one day clinic to like, right, we're closed. And then the next day we were ready online, ready to go and carry on supporting those people. So I think that was really, really good from Perfect Balance's side of things, that we've managed to maintain it. And obviously now we've come out the other side and we're able to open clinics again. So that's been really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've enjoyed going back to clinic so much.
Fatima, do you think you'll continue to see some clients remotely online? Do you think?
I think I will, Iona. Yeah. So the clients whom I can see online still, I will prefer seeing them online. And the ones who needs hands-on, I'll call them to the clinic. But I think that is why we still have the 15 minutes triage, where we are seeing whether they need to be seen in clinic or they need to come into clinic, or they can be seen online. Yeah. So I think
it's handy, isn't it? It's handy as well for a lot of people, especially those with kids, because we don't know what's happening with the schools necessarily. So if we still need treatment, it's really good that we have this option for them as well.
Yeah, it's kind of
makes it for everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
A good thing out of a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
This needs to be a bad thing.
Definitely. So, guys, what is the most challenging thing that you've found about lockdown?
So I've got two. So I'd say, firstly, just not being able to see friends just because of the circumstances. So just the lack of social interaction, like physically. It just makes you appreciate everything a bit more, makes you appreciate your freedom more. It makes you appreciate those people even more. So yeah, we've been having lots of Zoom chats and things, and just like looking forward to when we are able to actually see each other, when you're able to travel freely, like flights and things like that as well. My sister lives in Germany, so I was planning to go and see her, but we haven't been able to do that. So that's probably going to happen Christmas. So it's just been, that's been a big one. And then the second one is not being able to go to the gym, because I train quite a lot. So had to just come up with alternatives at home, which is not really the same because I don't have any weights or anything here, but you've got to improvise. So I guess it's just really appreciating what you have in the moment and not taking anything for granted. And just when you are in the thick of it, when you are in those situations where, things are taken away from you, you are in the unknown, then centering yourself and just thinking, right, how can I improvise now? How am I going to, make the best of my situation? So I guess it's made everyone just think and analyze things a bit more.
Definitely. How do you think that's affected with your mindset and stuff like that?
Mindset wise, I think I've been okay because I've been busy. Luckily, I've been working the whole time. I'm so thankful. And yeah, I've just, the constant contact of even in our work meetings daily, it's been nice to see people and speak to people and just keeping in contact with those that you love. And yeah, just focusing. It's had a really positive effect, I think, in getting me to focus on myself and my own personal goals and my own personal, self-care, making sure that I'm continuing that, which I think sometimes living as a mother and a full-time working mum, it can be quite hard to, put that time for yourself aside so that you're, giving yourself the correct self-care and focusing on your personal goals. That can kind of get lost. So I think this has been a good time for us to focus.
Definitely. I mean, I agree 100% with, especially being a full-time working parent. Like my little girl's 16 months, so this has been so hard. Like she used to go to a childminder 3 days a week, be surrounded by other children. Like she's just such a social baby, so for her to be stuck at home with just me and Michael, I think was really tough on her. And I think in the beginning we didn't really think about the effect that it would have on her because she's so young. We just thought, oh no, she'll be oblivious. But it's really not, because she picks up the change she noted. And I mean, luckily Michael's, well, not luckily, but Michael's been furloughed. I've been working the whole way through. I've increased my hours. So he's had that time with her, which she has loved, and them to like a little club, and I don't even get a look in now. But it's been lovely seeing them two together. And although I'm working, they're still able to go out and do stuff, like go on their walks and stuff like that. And although she's like missed her friends and stuff, which I know has been really hard on her, it's kind of had to make us kind of do a bit more at home, like more activities and stuff like that. So trying to maintain a bit of structure. Bedtime routines are out the window. I don't know if you agree, Fatima, but it's still been a bit up in the air. But we're getting back on track now, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's definitely tough to kind of remember to make that time for yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's quite hard working at home. Like Tiff, you said this on Friday, I think. It's hard to like get the difference between working and just being at home, because it's all in one at the moment. So it's kind of hard to make sure that you take a step back, because it's so easy to say, I'll just reply to that email, I'll just do this, where you need to make sure that you are having that downtime. I don't know if you guys have found that, where it's a little bit easier just to jump on and do bits and bobs, because it doesn't feel as out of the ordinary as it usually would.
I mean, I've been quite strict with it, so I've been making sure I'm logging off on time and stuff, just because I don't want that to eat into my time, and I know that is important for my well-being. So I've been quite strict with that, and I've made like a little area in the living room, which is just the work area, and it's, you know, all in one place, which is nice. So it's like I go to my desk in the morning. So it's just a new way of doing things, a new routine, which is
a new normal.
It's been good though. I mean, it's taught us that we can definitely cope with more than we think.
Yeah, so, I agree on that one.
I think it was at the beginning when it first happened, it was really quite obvious to see the people that really adapted quickly. And we're like, okay, let's just get on with it. What's the next job? How are we going to fix this? What can we do? Rather than, everything's, I know obviously some people have lost their jobs, which is really terrible. But actually having the mindset of thinking, let's continue, like what can we do in this time?
Like let's find a solution rather than
instead of like pondering on it and worrying, like let's not just focus on the issue and just cause ourselves more anxiety around it. It's like, okay, this is the situation, let's just find a way to deal with it and get on with it.
What can we do?
As simple as that.
Because the only way to move forward, isn't it? The solution.
If you control what you can control, then the rest of it's going to be uncontrollable around you.
Exactly.
But I think
actually following on from that, Iona, I really struggled at the beginning because I'm a massive control freak and I hate stuff being out of my control. I hate not knowing what's going on. So like lockdown, I was like, oh my god, what is going on? Like it really just shook something up inside of me. And I think that's why I got so heavily involved with the well-being and the mindset side of things, because it took a while for me to get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is fine. I can't control it. I'm not going to waste my energy and worry about it. I'm not going to waste my energy on it. I'm just going to move past it and do the best I can in the situation that we're in. So I think that's really been key for me, kind of making sure that I maintain that positive mindset. And don't get me wrong, it's hard work to be 110% all the time, but I've got to a point now where I know what energy I have, I know how to just distribute it, and it's got to a point now where like I'm just comfortable, like I'm happy, I'm moving forward, and it's all been quite positive. I don't know if anyone else has found that, if they've had like a sudden like flip where it's like, okay, yeah, this is fine.
I think I had that a bit, Shannon. So I'm a bit of a workaholic. I love work. I don't feel the need to cut out from work. So I think for me, the lockdown came as a big shock. I was like, wow. So I was at home with a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. And of course, I couldn't, go to work anymore. So for me, I think this was the first time where probably I have actually been at home with the kids physically after such a long time.
Mm.
And I must say, like, I had to kind of adapt really quickly to understanding homeschooling, to understanding,
Mm.
my son was just doing like 2 days of a play group, and he was, loving it. He was just getting adjusted to all of that.
Mm.
And I was at home full time with 2 kids, something I've not done for a very long
It's a
time.
big change, isn't it?
It's a big change. And as I said, I'm a bit of a workaholic. I love working. I can work like,
Yeah. You go from workaholic to full-time mum overnight though, and it's a big change.
It's
and
a
it's
big
really
change.
hard.
Yeah, totally. So I think my first week went in a big shock because I had this Saturday clinic, which was really busy, back to back. That's what I was used to. And it closed down just like that. And I was like, whoa, am I going to work on Saturday? What's happening here? It can't be real. So, but then I think what helped me a lot was my NLP. So I've done a bit of NLP and life coaching. I'm a master NLP. And I just had to implement whatever I learned over there to kind of know that this is something that's not in my control, and I can only control what I have. So I knew straight away that I had to, make sure that my daughter is okay, because all of a sudden that big social bubble is gone. It's just it's just going to be her and her brother at home. So I had to think about quick online. Luckily, Perfect Balance had a few online classes. I got her straight into the classes as well. Did a few things with her over that, and then I just had to make sure that it was all so organized. So before, I just had to think about organizing myself.
It adds a lot to the equation, doesn't it?
Exactly. Now I had to think about organizing my daughter and my son, and how am I going to work from home? So it was like I had to add so much to it. But you know what? As I say, there's a way for everything, which is so true. It has showed me that, something that really doesn't kill you just makes you stronger.
Definitely.
I agree. I think that what this has really instilled in me is like almost like a new habit now, is to just really take each day as it comes, which is something that most of us don't do. We're always thinking about, oh, what about next week? What's going to happen tomorrow? And now it's like you're forced into this situation. So it's kind of a good habit to learn, actually, because even when we do all go back into clinic and go back into our jobs, it's kind of a good habit to have. If the unknown comes, we can face it. Like tomorrow is the unknown anyway, isn't it? So
it is,
definitely.
Yeah. So living in the now is so important. Living in the present is so important.
Really is.
Fatima, could you explain a little bit about NLP?
Yeah, so NLP is a neuro-linguistic programming. So when I did my life coaching, it was integrated with NLP. The whole I learned life coaching along with NLP and how to integrate NLP in my life coaching. It is basically techniques that help you change your state, that help you come out of a crash state, that help to increase your self-belief. And it's all about reprogramming your mind, really, in a way that helps you maybe gain better belief in yourself, come out of a crash state, have a deeper understanding of yourself. And I must say, in the lockdown, I just started studying it a lot more deeper, trying and seeing which other courses are there. That is something I heavily invested in as well in the lockdown, and I found that so useful. It's a great technique to have. So if it has many parts to it, the whole NLP. So say somebody's has had a really, how do I put it, maybe a brutal past or something that's disturbing them from the past. We do something called as a timeline technique, which we use quite a bit. A timeline technique, parts associations, these are all techniques to kind of reprogram your mind. So it is basically just a way to reprogram your mind completely and help you be in the now, as well, as we all discussed, and the importance of living in today and how to make the best of today, really.
So from like some kind of trauma from
It doesn't always have to be trauma. It can just be like, it can be a really successful person who wants to achieve something as well.
Yeah.
So it's all about changing that mindset and, just focusing on your end vision or your end goal and how you can reach that. So yeah, it's really all about reprogramming your mind. It doesn't have to be only trauma, or it doesn't only have to be, disbelief. It can be, someone who has none of that, but just wants to achieve something in life.
Like take the next step.
Yeah, exactly. So it's even about just changing your belief system quite a bit.
Cool.
And it's amazing. I have been trying to use it a bit in clinic recently as well, just on my patients, and it's been amazing results. Just that by how changing the mindset, how quicker they feel close to their recovery. Yeah,
I really feel like that. I feel since my mindset has changed, I've achieved so much.
yeah.
Like it's crazy. And like, it wasn't an overnight process, like it's hard work. You have days where you feel a bit rubbish and it takes a lot more effort than other days. But yeah, I feel like, especially like managing work life, it's kind of helped me have that line between the two. It's helped me have more patience with my daughter. So like things I'd get really annoyed about before, I'm just not letting it bother me, like all stuff like that. So it's been really, really handy actually. And all that I have done is just accepted stuff and just kind of stopped accepting other people's energies into my own and just kind of said, this is what I can control. Anything else I can't. And I've just accepted that, and it's made such a difference.
Yeah. You change yourself and control yourself. And
I think once you accept that you can't control external factors, your life changes.
Absolutely. Once you instill your own boundaries, once you know what your own boundaries are, and then you enforce them, your life, you accelerate because you know who you are then, essentially.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's an important stage to get to.
Yeah, and it's also about making the best of the situation, So when all this happened, I was like, gosh, how's it even going to, how's it even going to work? Like not being able to go out, not, just being able to go out once a day. I think my first 2 weeks were just in total shock and disbelief. But then I thought I have to make the best of the situation. And that's what I did. I started spending quality time with my kids.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
always wanted to write a book on mind and body. I started outlining about the book. So just things like that, It's just, I thought the time, this is the only time I'll be able to do that book. Otherwise, I'm always so busy working. And so I just put those outlines there. So, yeah.
Do you find, Fatima, that it's made you appreciate time with the kids more?
A lot more. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I've really found that. It sounds really awful, but like when I didn't really have a maternity leave, I only had like a few months off. And I was actually speaking to Michael about it the other night, and I said, you know what, I really feel like I just took it for granted, because now I've got all this time at home and I know that I'm working more than I was before, but because I'm here and I'm present and I get I have my day off and then I have my weekend, and like with Michael, he like never had any time off when she was born. So it's just been absolutely amazing for him to have this time off, especially when she's such a nice age, like 16 months, like she's walking, she's chatting, she's a little troublemaker, a little diva. And it's just been so nice just watching their relationship flourish. Like it's been absolutely lovely. And I think this has really, really just made like our family time together so much more valuable to us than it was before. Like I feel like, it sounds really stupid, but just having time with your family, I feel like I really took that for granted before. Like going out to work, like you're not really bothered about spending time at home. Like me and Michael would go out for a meal. Like my mum and dad would have a Laura, Michael's dad would have a Laura. And now it's like, no, I just want to be with you two all the time. I don't want to be anywhere else. I'm either working or I'm with you two. And it's actually been lovely. And I feel like we've developed as a family because of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you found that, Fatima. Like, do you feel like you've grown with your children? It's just amazing, isn't it? And you, Tiff.
Just all new perspectives, isn't it?
Definitely.
I know, Iona, you were saying that you had a job during this time, didn't you? And you'd met some people that were from different walks of life. So that must have been interesting.
Yeah. So I was meant to start 11 weeks ago at Perfect Balance, as if I would normally start in the clinic.
Yeah.
Alongside university. And then when everything shut down, I was kind of talking to my mum and talking to my partner, like, what should I do? Should I look for another job? Should I not work? Is that dangerous? Like, there were so many pros and cons to it. But yeah, I found like a temporary job in a supermarket warehouse, which has, obviously it wasn't in my plan at all, but it has actually been a lifesaver and a bit of a godsend in the last 11 weeks to be able to work when I was sort of transitioning from a job and it couldn't happen anymore. So I'm very thankful.
How do you find having that job? Do you think that made a difference on how your mindset is today?
100%.
You know what I mean?
I think in the induction, I'm working with actors who have lost their jobs, everyone in the theatre world, builders who are out of work. I've met so many interesting people that during this time we've all experienced the same thing and haven't been able to work or have lost a job.
It's like that common ground, isn't it? Everyone's experienced the same thing.
It's brought everyone together. I think it's been a really humbling experience as well for people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and people have got bills to pay, families to support, and actually, no matter how old you are, no matter what walk of life you come from or what career you're in that moment we all needed that job, and
it's made everyone realise, I think, that status and money and, you know, material things, they're not what's needed at all when stuff like this happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's made me reevaluate everything personally. I don't know, it's just made me, I missed my mum and dad, like I missed Michael's dad and stepmom, like I just craved family company, and it just made me think, like, I don't care about any materialistic stuff. It just doesn't, like, it's not touched my mind once. All I want is just my family and my friends.
Yeah.
No.
To have right now, you can't go to, you couldn't go to the shops or the pubs or the gym or.
Exactly, but I think it's made me realise that I don't need that stuff because it's not what's important to me. In a situation where I need to evaluate what's important, it's my family and my friends. It's the people. Yeah. And that's stuff that you can't buy. It's stuff that you can't go out and get. It's stuff that you take for granted massively. So I think that's kind of been, like Tiff said, it's been really humbling actually.
Yeah, it's been a really grounding experience for most. I know like a few people that are, you know, they have like they're musicians or whatever, and they've just, you know, they can't work now. They can't do anything. So they've had to do other things, help the community or other little jobs here and there. And it makes everyone realise we are all the same. We are all the same, regardless of what title you have or how much money you have. When push comes to shove, we're in this together.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally. And just like you, Shannon, I think I felt the same, that, you know, I just want to be home with my kids now. And I was just trying to figure out ways about how can I do this from home. And, you know, it's kind of put that strong perspective that, yeah, I can still be working, but I should still be, you know, looking at ways I can be at home with my kids and how I should be kind of prioritizing the two.
Making the most out of the situation, isn't it? Because you're thrown into this. Yeah. You can either drown or you can get out the water. And I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You make the most of the situation. You either allow yourself to drown in it and you suffer and you struggle, or you get your head up, you get out, dry yourself off and you carry on.
Do you think this has changed so before the C word, coronavirus, you would have been working in clinic full time and then seeing your kids outside of that? Do you think this situation has changed how you want your schedule to be going forward?
Well, I must say one thing, that working at Perfect Balance Clinic, I'm quite lucky in the sense that, you know, we have a great leader like Stephen. He kind of has been very adjusting with my kids. So sometimes, you know, if I've really suffered with childcare or had problems, my kids would sometimes, like my 9-year-old will come, she'll sit in the clinic in the back office, and she's been there. And, you know, having that amazing team leader to support you all the time is great. I have always kind of, even though I love my work, I think what I was doing is I had already adjusted a lot of my work hour according to my children. So according to the school, and the number of days I want to do. But I was doing, trying to do a few things outside this as well, just to get more work, etc. But then I've just realized that focusing on one thing now going forward is what I want to do. And I'm going to focus my energy just on one thing, and just going to grab onto the people who let me focus on that one thing with my kids in the perspective. So, and I get that from Perfect Balance, and having that great team leader who doesn't make a big fuss of these things or make you feel looked down on just because you're a mom and you have to adjust on all these things massively helps. And having that support as a team makes a huge difference. And that's why I just, love being a part of Perfect Balance. It's been great. It's been great. I must say, I've been here for 4 years, and it's been amazing that, I've been able to adjust so much with my kids around sometimes.
Definitely.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I'm like the complete opposite end to you, Fatima. Like, I only joined in February. It was my first job coming back after maternity leave. I started at 12 hours a week over 2 days, so I was doing 2 mornings a week on reception. And obviously, lockdown worked quite well for me because it's allowed me to develop my skills and progress my career, which, to be completely honest with you, I never expected coming into a part-time reception role. But yeah, I think it's all about mindset. And if I hadn't had that flip, then I wouldn't have been able to do any of this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to, I don't think I'd be in the position that I'm in now.
For sure.
Definitely not.
We have had a question from the Facebook chat, which is, will the online classes be continuing? They have been great.
As far as I know, yes. From what we've discussed on reception, some of the classes will continue for sure. Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and nevertheless, the team is always here. So if there are certain classes, people like and they want it there, it can always stay there for on demand. I don't see why not.
I think definitely feedback would be good on which kind of classes and stuff. That'd be really handy to have, so that we can kind of run it from that and see where the popularity lies.
Yeah, I think Pilates and yoga are really popular, aren't they?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess when you've been at home with the kids around, a nice Zoom Pilates.
I know, right? Amazing.
I have to apologise to everyone when I join. So I'm like, don't mind my child screaming in the background, just ignore.
But yeah, having that option to do them whilst you're at home and you maybe can't get out to a clinic or a studio or wherever it is.
Yeah, no, I would never be able to do a weekday class ever if it wasn't online.
Same. Yeah, exactly.
Never be able to do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think it's even been like valuable for us as staff members as well.
Yeah,
keeping that sanity.
Yeah,
totally.
And the desk assessments, have you guys had yours as well? I had my desk.
I'm guilty, I haven't.
With Jamie, he's amazing. So PB got me a nice chair for my desk because I was having back issues. So I had a desk assessment. I've been having some sessions with Stephen, and I got a chair as well. So it'll be good for people to know that we do offer that service as well when they're working from home and they're feeling a bit stiff, and because obviously working from home, we don't all have an amazing desk and chair set up. You're just working with what you have, aren't you? So desk assessment can be really useful as well.
Yeah, especially a lot of people weren't expecting to be working from home, so you might
see, it's kind of like overnight. You've got all your monitors and your chair and everything. You're like, oh, where do I put all
using your dining table. That's what I'm doing. I'm using my dining table. So
literally,
it's a nice new chair.
Exactly, it's amazing.
I've stolen. I've got one here. I've got my nice.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I sometimes think desk assessments and all are all a part of looking after yourself as well. It's all self-love.
Yeah.
Health is an investment at the end of the day. So
totally. And I think that's one thing people can ignore quite easily is self-love, and understanding that just being able to just having to invest in your health is self-love as well. It doesn't always have to be about going and doing your nails or going and doing your hair. I mean,
I think what's really important as well is don't wait for a problem.
Exactly.
Because what so many people do is they wait for there to be a problem, and then it takes so much longer for it to be resolved. Like Just look after yourself. Go and see a physio. Go and just to get a checkup. Make sure that everything's fine to prevent those problems. Prevention is better than like dealing with the situation. So
yeah. I think this is what I see a lot in my clinic is people wait till the last minute when their back problem or neck problem has really gone bad, and then they'll turn up and they'll be like, oh, we got this, and a lot of times I see a lot of anxiety and stress associated with it as well. And I think it's one of the things that I've incorporated a lot in my clinics now is trying to explain them the effect of stress on their body and manage the stress as well along with their health. It is so important. And just, having regular follow-ups is so important. And something like a desk assessment, as you said, Stephanie, since you have a back problem, it's just a part about loving yourself and knowing how important that is. Because if you don't have that, at the end of the day, your back problem is just going to get worse.
Exactly.
And when you're in pain, I don't think anybody's mood can be good.
No.
I think everyone's going to be irritable and unhappy.
I think everything kind of rotates back to that mental well-being.
Absolutely.
So if your back's hurting every single day, it's going to start upsetting you and having a detrimental effect on your mental well-being as well as your physical. So I think it's so important to just prevent these things instead of waiting for issues to arise.
In terms of stress as well, like exercise is a stress on the body, but also work can be a stress, or overloading on other things are all stressors.
Yeah.
If you're doing a lot of all of them and they're all adding stress to your body, I think a lot of people will be doing that and then will finally burn out.
Yeah.
Burn out that everything sort of crumbles, but being able to manage that yourself and notice the little signs when something is getting too much.
Yeah, and
I think that's what people struggle with, don't they? They don't want to take a step back when it gets too much. They're like, oh, I'll just push through it. But it's so important to take that step back.
Yeah,
I think it's a taboo as well still, right? Talking about mental health in few ways that, people are scared to say I'm stressed or, I can't do it. Like how often do you hear that people saying that, look, I'm really stressed. I need to take a few days off. People still think twice before doing that. I remember doing that. I was, say 6 months ago, I was, if I was going through something, I would just not be able to say that I'm stressed and I need to take a step back. It still feels like a taboo. And so just saying to yourself that it's okay to do that is a big thing. I mean, just like you, Tiffany, I love working out, and that's really important for my mental health. Like, I think even with my kids, I go swimming very regularly. I play tennis with them quite regularly, and I enjoy doing that. And all of that just came to a big close.
Yeah.
And for me, the immediate challenge was like, wow, I really need to exercise. How am I going to do this? And thankfully, another thing is thankfully that all these online consultations helped me with that, because in my online consultations, I had to do the exercises with my clients and my patients, and that helps me massively, because I was, it's like I had a posture class, say at 9:00 in the morning. I had to do my exercises 9:00 in the morning. It kind of structured me out.
Yeah.
So it's a way to kind of force you to do it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's finding a solution, isn't it? Like,
absolutely.
We may not be able to go to the gym, but there are other ways you can, go out for a cycle. Like I sold my bike last year, and now I'm like, damn it, I need my bike back. So I'm going to buy one next.
Always the way, though.
Yeah, and I mean, there are always alternatives. We have our bodies, we have outside. We're healthy. We can go out. We can find alternatives. So
when you think about all the things you do in the gym anyway, you have your body weight and gravity.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm playing football with my 3-year-old so much. Football was the first thing I was doing. He loves playing football. So literally every morning, that's one routine we had. 11 playing football, and that would just drain him out, and he would have his afternoon nap for 2 hours. So
for a nap.
That's what you need. That 2-hour nap in the afternoon. It's a savior.
Absolutely, it's a savior.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's so nice, though. But it's things like that you would never have done before.
No.
So I think that's what's really important to remember, that it has just made us have to do things and put us in positions that we have to deal with. And
I think it's forced a lot of people to look at things that they haven't been looking at as well. So like the darker parts of things, and the problems, or maybe the underlying issues that they don't want to face and look at, and they've swept under the carpet. It's forced those to come to the surface, and people are doing the real work now. People are doing the real inner work. It's like, okay, let me actually heal myself. Let me actually clear this out now, so that when this whole situation does, lift in some way, that I can actually step forward as a new person or a better version of myself.
It's having that extra time as well, isn't it, to be able to work on yourself, though? Because there are so many people who just wouldn't have the time to do it before, and they have got that time now.
Yeah, so the Western world is moving like 900 miles an hour, but you've got all of these ideas of, I want to run more, I want to cycle more, I want to gym more, or I want to live in this place in the UK, or whatever it is. Everyone's different. It has almost given us time, which is once in a lifetime thing.
Exactly.
Time. So it's precious, isn't it? So
like my parents and grandparents haven't experienced anything like this before, and actually having this time, this space to actually allow those things in and to happen and to action them.
Definitely.
It's almost like time out. What do you want to do? Figure it out. It's amazing.
Golden time.
That's the positive of this whole situation, is that a lot of, innovative ideas have come out of this now. People have gained confidence. People have probably got a lot healthier as well. Like, I know that, there's been...
I definitely haven't. I haven't kept my head out the fridge.
Things like that. But, I think people have got a lot healthier.
Guys, I'm just getting my charger, My laptop is ready. Sorry, guys.
I think, when you just said innovative, it just made me think how Perfect Balance as well have thought of different ways and ideas.
It's just been crazy, hasn't it?
Still keep the business alive so that, the future, it does flourish and we all fly.
Exactly. I had to make you uncomfortable, otherwise you wouldn't have grown. That's the universe quote, isn't it? It's it applies to all things.
Change is just a way of growing, I think. Unless things are changing, you're just going to be in that same situation forever.
Yeah.
Another thing that came out of this whole thing for me as well was I can be quite an introvert person in some ways. So I think I just started expressing myself more to my friends and family, things of which I started finding a bit challenging, which I would never do before. So before, my problems were my problems, and I just couldn't tell it to the world. It was like that. It's just meant to be with me. But now I just found that by talking and telling people, I find that many people are in a similar boat. And it's okay to have those challenges. Whereas a lot of time when you keep it to yourself, you think it's only you and you have to deal with it and get on with it. But it doesn't have to be like that. It's okay to talk. It's okay to express. It's amazing to see how many people go through the same challenges every time.
And it's kind of like, it's forced you to speak in a way, because obviously you can't see people face to face. This is the only form of contact you can have. So it's giving people the confidence over like Zoom meetings and stuff to express themselves fully in the way that they always would like to. Maybe not so much in person, but now it will be different when we do see each other in person, because we've got that strong connection now.
Definitely. I feel like having this time, I've grown so many like wonderful relationships with people from work that I probably wouldn't have done if we were still in clinic. Because it's given us it's forced us to have to engage with each other. That like I would never bump into you, Tiff. I'd speak to you on the phone. But it's been so nice to build those relationships up, and it's pushed me out of my comfort zone by so much. But nothing grows in comfort zones. So
totally,
I think that's just so important.
I mean, Tiff, I see you in clinic a few times. But still, we never have this like deep conversations. We
chat times, exactly.
We're just in, out, Tiff, this needs to be done, or Tiff, can you do this? It's just literally just that. And we're just kind of catching each other on the run most of the times, I feel.
Exactly, because we're just so busy, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we are just so
It
busy.
just forces us to have that time to actually like engage.
So do
Yeah,
you
get
think
to know
Which is
people
so
on a
important for the
personal
mind.
level. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
on a human level, it's like I see you and I.
Understand.
I get you.
And it's
Yeah,
great. It's
I
great
get you more.
teams where we shared all of our stories as well.
Yeah.
Like from our past to the present. It's good to know we all have actually in life gone through challenges. Sometimes you don't see the side of life at all. Like you see the most successful person and all you can see is their success, but you don't see the challenges they've gone through.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that all of us, when
We kind of all experience it together, don't we?
Exactly. And that was the most amazing part. Like it made me analyze a lot about my life and appreciate myself actually, which I think I very rarely did. Because it made me look at my past and my life story. So in life coaching, we do something called as the hero's journey, where you kind of start. So it's funny, our mind kind of captures and has a photograph of the most incidences. Like, so a hero's journey is done right from when you're, as far as you can remember, say 3 years old, whatever sticks in your mind and your brain, those are your photographic memories. And it all kind of is about talking from there. And I kind of did a hero's journey for myself. And I just realized that, wow, man, I have been through some real crap and I've come out of it. And I have been through this crap. And so have all of us. So
Yeah.
we're all heroes, really, in our own journey.
I think, I said this on Friday, I think it's so important to remember that everyone is facing something that we can't see. They're all experiencing something we don't know about. And I think me looking at life like that, like if I'm dealing with a complaint or like the lady in the shop serving me isn't as nice as she normally is, it's so important to remember they could be experiencing and dealing with anything. And I can't control that. I won't let their negative energy take over my energy, but I will think that's not her fault. She's obviously going through something. And I won't let it bother me. That before I'll be on the phone to my mum, like, Mum, the lady in Morrison's was just so rude. I can't believe it. But now I'm like, oh, she's probably dealing with something, and she's still got up and she's come to work, which is an achievement for her today. But I'm not going to let it, it goes over my head now more than it did before.
And that's a huge mindset change there.
Massive.
How people treat you isn't your journey. How you respond to them is.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
How your response to it.
Fatma, from what you just said about the photographic memories, the first few weeks into lockdown, I almost felt like I experienced a year or two of reflection in my mind. I don't know if that sounds absolutely mental or if anyone else went through that as well. But it was like I was like, the last 4 years all just squashed, and I saw a video of it all.
I know exactly what you mean. Actually,
I've been final year and working and doing all these other things and playing sport and running around Hertfordshire. It was almost then like you had a week off and everything stopped, and then it all just done a rewind in my brain.
You have that time to appreciate everything and evaluate everything, don't you? I really found that.
Yeah, so we do this a lot we do this a lot in NLP and life coaching. We actually make people think about, bring them into that state where they can think about their life and bring out the most photographic memories about their life. And it can go as far as they want to remember, really. And it's funny how it comes out. And the most important and the most, the most memories that probably have even scarred them and they have come stronger from them. They come out. I remember when I did my hero's journey, I was just crying. It was just, and I was the only one in that group who cried so much.
It's so good though. It felt so good afterwards. Such a release.
Such a relief. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to tell people your hero's journey. Because it just makes you realize that at the end of it, you are a winner. Each one of us are a winner here. No matter what our life is, but we have gone through something, we have won through it, we have learned from our failures, and we have come out a greater success.
This has made me as well really look at, like, say, things that I was concerned about before lockdown, things that were bothering me really don't bother me now, because I'm like,
I really agree with
fine
that.
now to me. In my mind, I'm just like, how was I even stressing about
why did that ever bother me? Yeah.
Totally, I agree with
you.
you.
Have to go through that to then realize it.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, I gave that so much energy, and now look, like, I couldn't even. Yeah.
I think. Sorry, no, go on, I know.
You go. I'll go.
No, please go.
Okay, something which I have found amazing about, like, being a part of Perfect Balance was, I think, the first team meeting that I came into on Zoom. Everyone was really friendly, as you would expect starting somewhere, but the actual conversation already was a lot deeper, a lot more sort of spiritual, which I wasn't expecting to find 20 people that were so like me, that thought like that. But I almost came on and everyone was talking, and I was like, wow, how is this happening? How am I here? How are all these what?
But I think that those meetings, and although we're all so different, I think we all respect each other's views. We've all become a lot similar through lockdown, because our views have all become kind of one, if that makes sense. I mean, we're all different. We've all got a different opinion.
Shannon.
Yeah.
Aren't we? Our similar tribe. But I think it's because we're talking, isn't it? To each other.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And none of us shied out. Yeah.
No, exactly. But it's opened my mind to so much new stuff. Like, there was, Tiff, you were talking about all spiritual stuff, and I thought I would never, ever, ever have an interest in any of that. And it just opened my mind so much.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's really nice and refreshing to be able to have that kind of conversation with people that you work with, because it's not something that I would usually bring up with in a work meeting, but obviously the circumstances were different, so it's kind of just us revealing our true selves, and which is really nice as well. And I think the reason why we all have become similar, or seem like we're similar, is because we are similar. We've all gravitated towards this company and these roles that we're in, because we do have similar goals and values. So
I think because of that mindset as well, we've supported each other with the growth.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this without the support of the team and everything else.
Exactly. And you attract what you are. So, like we were discussing frequencies briefly, weren't we? So the frequency that you're at, you attract. So we're lucky that we're working with like-minded souls and good, honest people.
Yeah. So we've had another question on the feed, which is, what are the plans post-lockdown for Perfect Balance, individually and in the clinic? So should we go individually first, and then maybe as a whole for the clinic?
Individually as in personally, or individually within our roles?
Maybe
I'll probably go personally,
yeah.
I think, what's your plan, and how are you going to achieve it, and how is your mindset going to help?
Yeah, so post-lockdown, what has this situation changed for you?
For me, I'll say just making sure I do the things that I want to do and do them now, rather than put things on the back burner. So if there's anything I'm interested in, like, I don't know, maybe learning a new skill, or wanting to travel somewhere, or wanting to change something within my life, within my home, within myself, just getting on with it and doing it now, rather than thinking, I'll give it 3 weeks, give it a month. This has shown me that there is no time like the present. If you want things done, you need to get them done now. Yeah. No procrastinating. There's no procrastinating anymore. So that's my personal change.
Shannon, what are your plans post-lockdown?
I am, well, I've already started building a career for myself, which obviously coming back after having a baby, you don't really think that's when you're going to start. You normally do that first. So I've done everything in the wrong order already. But really, really just building myself up. Having kind of everything with like my confidence and my communication skills and my mindset has opened so many doors for me, both in work and out. So I think my plans following, just make more time for myself, make more time for my family, and enjoy that time with my family instead of taking it all for granted. So definitely, like Tiff said, live in the present. Like, I'm not going to be putting stuff off anymore. Oh, no, I'll do it next week, or I'll go and do it. No, it's now or never.
Things annoy us.
Now or never.
Fatima, what are your plans post lockdown?
Yeah, I think quite similar. I think I've really learned the power of now as well. And I think another thing that I really learned was I can be somebody who always thinks a lot about the future. And I just realized that that really creates too much anxiety and worry and stress. And really, the future, we don't know if it exists. The past is something we can't change. So I had to let go a lot of my past, and just I literally remember writing. I think it was in April, probably writing forgiveness and saying forgiveness things to all the people who have hurt me. I did that massively, and that was a huge baggage off my chest and my mind as well. So that is something I would really recommend everybody. Forgiveness for yourself, and forgiveness for anybody who's hurt you. Being kind to your inner child is something I have learned that's really important. Writing love letters.
You taught me that, Fatima.
Yeah, that is just so important. That's something I do quite a bit. Loving and appreciating yourself, because till you don't do that, nobody else can love you and appreciate you. So just think of that. In the clinic, what I really want to do is I just want to empower people going ahead. I just want them to realize that along with their health, their mind is equally important. And that's something I'm going to be looking forward to, is starting my NLP and my coaching as a part of along with physiotherapy. Because I've just realized that till, the mind is just as important as the body. It's a big holistic thing, and I love that we have that holistic approach and perfect balance. So it's another thing I started doing was focusing on my nutrition, because I started having a few gut problems pre-lockdown. And that is something I focused on in the lockdown, and it's massively helped me. So these are the things I have in mind post-lockdown in the clinic as well. Another thing I really love to do is empowering women who have just given birth. So I think that is one massive step in any woman's life, when they've just given birth. The anxiety that comes with it, and having to go back to work after that, and having to adjust to workplace can create so much anxiety. So that is one thing I really want to work work in the clinic with quite a bit. So yeah, those are my few plans for the clinic as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My plans
Your plans, please.
So I think personally, I will definitely spend more time with my family, because that is something that I just massively just would put last, and either go with my friends or go somewhere else or just be away somewhere. So yeah, actually really consciously doing that. And yeah, just spending more time like we can do CPD and we can learn more and more and more, but I think anyone can do that. Anyone can read a book, do a course, but actually we are so different that you can only work on yourself on your own. So yeah, actually doing more of that rather than just thinking I need to do this course or do this. But post lockdown, the clinic myself, it will be more courses and CPD and reading. So a combination of both of those things, and just really building that perfect balance. And in clinic, So the second part of the question, the plans for perfect balance post-lockdown.
Well, I know that coming back bigger, better than ever.
Yeah, we're going to fly.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm so impressed by what we've done already during lockdown. So I can only imagine that it's going to be even bigger and better than it was before.
100%. I mean, we're really fortunate that we've kind of had that plan in place, and we've had like an amazing team around us to get us all through. But yeah, I think it's going to be amazing.
I think
Getting back into everything, and
now we are a stronger team as well.
definitely, this has just done so much for us as a team.
Yeah, it does.
100%.
Just ready to like help people reach their goals again, isn't it? Getting back to helping people feel good and feel amazing.
Yeah,
I think in terms of practitioners, it's allowed everyone to see each other's faces on Zoom and know, okay, someone's a sports therapist or an osteo or
build those relationships.
A physio, yeah. So now
I find that so much.
Hard to build the relationship and actually think, oh, does this patient need to be referred to somebody different? Oh, I know who. Yeah. So I think it feels integrated massively.
If anyone is actually watching and wants to ask any questions, please just put them in the chat box, and then we can round up with any answers to any questions if anyone has any. But yeah, no, I definitely agree that, I mean, I think this for me has allowed me to build up those relationships massively with everyone in clinic. I mean, not just obviously I'm based in Hatfield, but it's allowed me to build that relationship with everyone. And I mean, like, you don't normally get those chances to do those things, you know. So it's been really, really good. Like, I think for me, going back into clinic, I'm loving doing training and stuff with everyone at the moment, and doing sessions, like kind of helping everyone develop. And I just love helping everyone out. And I think because I'm at that stage in my mind where I don't absorb negative energy, everyone knows that I'm there if they need me. So like when people come to me, I don't let it absorb me. I don't drown in it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's deal with this. Instead of before, where I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. This person's like, I'm drowning.
So you're solution focused now, aren't you, Shannon? You focus on the solution, not the problem, which is
that's it. That is it.
Focus on the solution. Problems are always there. It's what you want to focus on. Do you want to focus on the problem?
It's just how you look at things, isn't it?
I'm just really looking forward to seeing everyone again. I'm looking forward to seeing all our colleagues again, our patients. It's going to be nice.
Having a cup of tea in the staff room.
Yeah, it's so good to go back to Hatfield.
Oh,
yeah. You know, it was great starting Hatfield again, and seeing all my clients. Just being able to see another team worker as well, like just seeing Erin for the first time. I was like, wow, Erin, hi. Like, like, wow, hi. Yeah, and then meeting Lisa on Saturday was like, oh, amazing. We just it's like we take humans for so granted, right? We take each other for granted.
It makes you appreciate the stuff that you wouldn't have done before, though.
Exactly. I mean, Tiff, I know when I see you in Trump, she's going to be like, big hug,
Oh my God, yeah.
Fatma's going to cry.
I went up for the first time, which was amazing as well.
It was kind of like a PPE wave.
Yeah. Like, hi, yeah. It was amazing to see all the faces again. It was
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
An hour.
Yeah.
Time flies.
So fast.
Yeah.
I know. Does anyone have any tips on how to remain positive and keep that mindset before we finish? Fatima, do you have any tips?
Yeah, always focus on your highest vision is one thing I will say. There will always be problems. There will always be something that will bring you down. But if you have your highest vision in front of you, always, it's going to make you just think that this downfall or this stressful period is there to teach you something. You are just going to come out of it stronger and just going to go closer to your higher vision, towards your goal.
Definitely. I think for me, it's like know yourself enough, because if you don't know yourself, you don't have those goals, you don't have those boundaries. So really just make that time to get to know yourself.
Yeah. I would say if a problem does arise, I almost decide how long I'm going to be annoyed or think about it, or I'll be like, okay, this is going to annoy me for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to think about what I can do. Because I feel like you do need that little bit of like,
definitely,
as well, because that's completely natural. So if I say, you know, okay, I need to sleep on this, or 24 hours or an hour, and then just get on with it, work out what the solution is, and then just take action.
Yeah.
I think mine would be to just use this time to analyze your coping mechanisms. So whatever works for you, however you de-stress, however you know, whatever works for you. It might be meditation, it might be, I don't know, taking 5, but just remember what we've been through and remember who you are. Remember who you are.
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
It's been fun.
And also, I think what I would like to tell to the general public, everyone who's listening to us today, is it's okay to talk. It's okay to come out with problems. And please do so, because that is a very important part.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
And just spread love and kindness, really, because everyone in life is going through something.
Love that.
Everyone is going through something. So a bit of love and kindness can light up anybody's day.
Absolutely.
But if you want to hear that in person, you can come and see Fatima at Perfect.
I love it. Right, shall we leave it on that nice note then, girls?
Yes,
Thank you for joining me tonight.
Lovely to see all your faces.
Thank you so much, guys. Perfect. I'll speak to you tomorrow then.
Bye.
Bye.